Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Ntisa. It's a pleasure to have you on our platform because we know our young people are going to be learning so much from you, especially as Mrs. Basu, one of our professional mentors, has been encouraging them and actually helping them with research to do with STEAM and STEM. So with what you're doing, the innovative things the things you're putting into use, I mean, pure water, you drink the water, you throw the bag away, and you're actually turning these into tiles for people to use. It's like, it's always going to be there in a way, depending on how we tend to more or less like manage things. It's a pleasure to have you on the platform. I'm going to hand you over to Christian and Mel. Christian is 10 years old and Mel is 14. Christian is actually signing in from the UK and Mel is signing in from Trinidad and Tobago. And we're going to have a great time. Thank you so much for coming on, and I'm going to go on mute while they continue this.
Okay.
Thank you very much, 𝐷ioreke.
Thank you. You're welcome. So, Christian, would you like to take over, please? You and Mel, please.
Yes, okay. Thank you all for joining. My name is Christian, and I'm 10 years old, and I'm from the UK.
Hi, my name is Melissa, and I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm 14 years old.
Okay. Hello, Mel. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Christian and Melissa.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Okay. Today, Miss Innerstar is here to speak to us about promoting suitable development goals, which gave birth to
Sustainability
solutions. And the sustainable development goals are the blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. They address the global challenges we face, including those related to poverty,
inequality,
climate change, environment degradation, peace and justice. The 17 goals are all interconnected, and in order to leave no one behind, it is important that we achieve them all by 2030. Miss Innerstar focuses on goal 6, which is about clean water and sanitation. Clean, accessible water for all is an essential part of the world we want to live in. And the fact is that water security affects more than 40% of the world's population. Okay.
Okay, and we'll hand it over to Miss Insta, and we'll start the questions while she's speaking if we have any questions.
Okay. So Kristen, Melissa, I can see Eddie, Ratiba, Oluwaferami, Rosie, Tanyo. Nice to have you all. Thank you very much for having me on this platform, on the DIL platform, DIL Ambassadors, as a Diligent Inspired Leaders platform. Thank you very much. My name is Intisar Bashir Kurfi. I studied architecture from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. And as you all know, I was a science student in my secondary school, and architecture too is part of the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM. So I am part of our company is called 𝐒𝐿𝐿 Eco Solution. That's the 𝐮𝐬𝐭 Solution is just a company under Ibirogba Solution. That's like our outreach company. That's the one we use for our own, when we're going to give back. So we use 𝐮𝐬𝐭 Solution, but Ibirogba Solution is the one we have, is a purpose-driven enterprise that provides green solutions which have social, environmental, and economic impacts. Environmental sustainability is at core of the products and services we offer. And our operations are aligned with the sustainable development goals. Also nature-based solutions and the circular economy. By providing and solving the problem of indiscriminate plastic pollution, we collect almost all types of plastic waste and transform them into interlocking tiles. We call them the Ibirogba pavers. So our products last for over 10 years, unlike other recycling solutions that are transformed into plastic again. So we're also creating thousands of jobs directly and indirectly and contributing in keeping the environment clean. We're also helping to protect plastic from blocking drains and causing floods, as well as keeping them away from animals who eat them and in turn eaten by Nigerians and people across the world. Our product is directly aligned with over 7 sustainable development goals, e.g. the no poverty, that's goal 1, no poverty, goal 3, good health and well-being, goal 5, reduce inequality, goal 5, gender equality, goal 4, which is good education, quality education. So we have so many, sustainable development goals that align with this production of the eco-friendly interlocking pavers that we make. So our focus is to use women as our waste collectors, unemployed youth, and as our factory workers. We would provide them with accommodation built from eco-friendly buildings, school, as well as feeding, while paying them a wage. So that we haven't really started, but we are already engaging them, but they are not yet they're not staying where we have built now. We're also designing and fabricating our machines in Nigeria by ourselves in order to avoid capital flight and keep the money in Africa, as well as creating jobs as a result. So we hope to scale up to all parts of Nigeria and even some West African countries and Africa as a whole. So regarding STEM, our business is STEM compliant because of the plastic collection, how the process involves chemical disaggregation of polythene and compounding with sharp sand to create a composite, which is then molded. So, and you all know that STEM is to address societal problems, and that is the core of our business, and because we deal with advocacy and community service. So also STEM, using STEM for our, because that's not the only product we do, but we have another product, that's the eco-friendly reusable sanitary pad, but this one is more, I think you relate to it more, because of the processes, it involves so many people, and because everywhere in the world now, plastic pollution is becoming a problem. Am I right? So plastic pollution is becoming a very big problem. I can use a plastic in Nigeria and you can find it in the UK in maybe another ocean, because it goes into the ocean, it travels, or a fish from here can eat it and they export it to other countries and the rest. So basically that is what we do. We collect these plastics because of the plastic pollution. That is why we like to collect the plastic and turn it into and upcycle it. It's called upcycling, and upcycle it into a product that can stay for, you know, longer period of time. Because if you get plastic waste and still turn it into another nylon bag, it's still going to maybe like just a week or two still go back to the as a waste again. But if you make it into a product like the interlocking pavers, it's going to spend maybe a minimum of 10 years or 20 years you are using it before it's going to become a waste again. So are we together? Do you have any question?
Yes. That was good. And my question is, what are they using the plastics for? Oh, yeah,
The waste plastic or?
the waste plastic.
The waste plastic, we take it to our factory and sort them out and make sure they are dry. Dry them if they are not dried. If they are dirty, we have to wash them and dry them. When they are dried, we heat it. After heating it and it's melted like chocolate, then we add, it's just like cake baking. Then we mix it with sand. So that sand that we mix it with is going to be in a liquid form. Not very liquid like water, but just like your cake mix. Then we'll put it inside what is called a mold. So that mold is going to be, when we put the melted like caramel inside the container, then we leave it to dry. So when it's dried, then we take it outside then we can use it immediately. So it's just like when you are baking your cake. When you finish mixing, you put it inside your containers, then you bake it. So but this one, after putting it inside your container, you just leave it to dry. After drying, then it's ready to use. Unlike the other conventional concrete pavers, you have to leave it for 28 to 30 days to cure, what we call curing. You have to leave it to, be solid before you can use it. But this one, immediately when you finish that process of melting it and mixing it, then you can just start laying them.
Okay, thank you. And another question is, what inspired you to do what you are doing today?
Yeah, the reason why we started because of the plastic pollution that was always being emphasized in the world. It's harming us. And I have a story. We had this sheep, sheep?
Yeah.
Like goat, yeah. So we have them in our family, and they always get sick. When they have their babies, they are not fine, they can't eat. So when the veterinary doctor came, he checked one of them, that's the mother of the flock, and she was having so many nylons inside her stomach. I don't have pictures on this laptop. I could have shared it, but I will share it with maybe Christian after the event so that they can share it for you to see. So there were so many nylons inside her stomach because, the animals don't have the capacity to differentiate that this is nylon or this is food. So whenever they see it, they will just think it's food, and they eat it. So, and it harms them, it kills them, because when you have a lot of nylon in your stomach, there will become a time that you cannot breathe, you'll be having breathing problem and the rest. So at the end of the day, she died. But so, you know, and here, because of the we dispose waste indiscriminately, find waste at times everywhere. So it's very bad for animals and people also, because when rainwater comes, it washes everything into our the ocean, like fish, turtles and the rest. They just eat everything that comes there thinking it's food, and they don't know that it isn't food and it harms them. And at the end of the day, when we eat this fish too, it harms us, because we eat fish as food and it goes into our blood streams too. So I think what inspired me to go into this is just I was looking for something to do that I would take back to the society, you know, something that will have very big impact on the society. So, and when I was seeing this plastic pollution everywhere I go, every country, every state in my country and the rest, so I was looking for a solution to it, and we did research on what we could do with it that has very big impact and value. So that was why we saw in countries like Europe and India, they use it for roads and pavements. So that was why we started, after the research, we started experimenting, and we launched into the market.
Okay. Okay. And another question is, were there times where you thought in your journey to get to where you are now, were there times when you thought you were just going to give up?
Yes, there were times when I thought I'm tired of this, is not going to work, because I've been telling people before we launched our product, when we were doing our experiments, I always tell people, whenever I see plastic waste, I tell people, this plastic waste you are seeing, it can be turned into roads, it can be turned into roof tiles, it can be turned into green cement. People will just be looking at me. She's saying the truth, or you know, so people don't believe you, because they say seeing is believing, and we already have maybe some 20 pieces, but people always think, okay, because it's low scale, maybe that's why they're having this, but it's not going to work. Or so I was becoming, you know, tired, and I said, oh, I'm not going to do it again. So, but people around me, my family, my husband, my, you know, friends, close friends said, okay, no, it's going to work. Some people really, you know, give me the assurance that in life you have to keep pushing to achieve where you want to achieve. And those people that are telling you it's not going to be possible, you have to push, and you know, for you to prove to them that, yeah, it's really going to work, or it can work.
Okay. And another question. I read that you trained trainees. So what was it like to train them?
The ones we trained was on the reusable sanitary pads, because young women, not everyone can afford to buy the single-use sanitary pads. So we searched for an option for women to have an option that they can use, instead of the other one that is only single-used. And it has its own environmental impacts and the economic impact, because the environmental part is that the other single-use sanitary pad is made from plastic, which again, the improper disposal of it goes back to the plastic pollution that we're still talking about. And sorry. Okay,
don't be sorry. Please let her come on the call. She can sit next to you. We've got children on the call, so please let her come on and sit on. Fantastic.
Thank you. Okay, so that is where was I? Okay, so about the sanitary part. So we taught some ladies and some women how to make it, so that they can, some of them that were taught said they were able to take their children back to school and, you know, feed their families.
Oh, okay. So that's great. And my last question is, what materials were used for the sanitary pads? Because
I've shared some pictures with you that you can maybe share on the screen for the other participants to see the product and the ship that I was telling you about. So the material is made from pure cotton, and so it's pure cotton and something that you will use to trap it. So because the other single-use plastic, single-use sanitary pads that is being made, at times you don't know what really the chemicals that are put in them. You don't know how safe they are. So, but this one that we are making, you know, they are made from cotton, pure cotton. So even, you know, doctors recommend that when we're going to use underwears, we should use pure cotton because it's airy, it allows air to pass through, it's healthier. So that is why, from even the health perspective too, this sanitary pad, the eco-friendly sanitary pad is healthier than the other plastic one.
Okay. And is it something like the long time nappies, what they would call nappies?
Yes, something like that.
Okay. So that's all for me, and I will hand it over to Christian now.
Thank you, Melissa.
Okay,
You're welcome.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay, so my question is, how did you help design 𝐾 to be more eco-friendly, and can more businesses work in this way? More businesses work in this way?
𝐾 was made from, you know, there's a part that we converted a shipping container to the cafe where you take coffee and desserts, also snacks. And the interior we added live plants. We added live plants. The floor also was made from, we decorated it in an African way because that was where we were in the north. I'm coming, 1 minute. He's only 5 years old, so he's not part of the STEM now. So the area had, you know, so much green. There are trees, and we used bamboo in the exterior. We used so many plants, so it was cool. We used there was this traditional Hausa roof that they call thatch roof. So that was, you know, the combination of things we used at 𝐾.
Okay. Do you think more business?
Just a minute, please, Melissa. Just a minute, please, Christian. Intisa, please don't feel conscious at all with the kids coming in and out, because that's what children do. And we are we're leading this in a way where it's natural. So we're not going to pretend that children don't exist or family life doesn't exist. So when he comes in, he answers a question, we will wait. Whatever happens, just continue with what you're doing and just feel comfortable, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So how do you think other businesses will benefit of them being more eco-friendly?
Yeah, people really enjoy 𝐾𝐿, especially family people with children. They like to come there because it's very friendly, homey. People come there to have their meetings. You know, when you are looking for a place that is very cool and refreshing, somewhere that you have meetings that nobody will. A place where people are going to relax, so they like to come there. At times people say that is people with children like the place more because the children can play outside. The lawn is always mowed and there are balls there. You know, they play balls and there are so many card games, board games like Ludo, there's chess, and so many games. So people felt very home. It feels like home. So people like using there. And also elderly people and people that are very, you know, serious-minded, people that, okay, some have their meetings there, and we have a book club there also. There's a book club there, so people to come there to have their book sessions and the rest.
Fantastic. That sounds great, because, you know, when you're doing things like this, you need to involve the young people so that the young people can see the process and actually get to enjoy it. It's not just a showpiece that is being put in place for people to come and see. It's something that is actually built for everybody to use, and that is so good. I know Christian still has some questions, but please let me throw this question in right now. Oh, and by the way, I've seen a vlog with your daughter, because she seems to draw pictures and like talk through. Yeah. She's been engaging in STEM. I've seen a couple of videos with her on. It's quite interesting, and maybe we can share some with the ambassadors. So that is fantastic. Hello, how are you, everyone? Hello.
Oh, they're asking you how are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, hello. Oh, how old are you?
Hello,
how old are you?
9 years old.
I'm fine, thank you. 9 years old, fantastic. And Christian is 10 years old. Christian, wave at the girls. Christian, wave.
Christian, wave.
Christian, wave, say hello. Fantastic. And Melissa, say hello. Melissa, please wave. Fantastic.
Hello.
Good. Yeah. So what you see, we've been talking about plastic, but now you have a lot of people throwing their masks away, you know, in an ignorant way, creating another problem. We came into COVID with one problem of plastics. Now we seem to be walking out of COVID in a trail of like masks all over the place.
And the PPE is also.
What do you? Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, it's so sad because we shouldn't have had that problem in the first place, but now we evidently have that problem. What could you do to more or less like minimize? Is there anything you could do with this waste? Because it's not exactly something we can reuse.
Yes. So for the mask, we have to maybe experiment another product, but for now, our own interlocking pavers, we can't use the mask for it. But maybe the PPEs can be used, but we haven't tested that. In naga using the internet so sai kaji kai hakuri in naga mazan baka. So maybe for the PPEs, we can use that for our product, though we haven't tested, but maybe we will have to test that to see if it's going to work, since when you burn it, because our material have to undergo
I guess a phone call came through for Intisar, so kindly bear with us for a minute or two.
And so, but we also have to use a protective for that procedure. So, but we haven't tested that, and maybe we have to do that in the nearest future. And I guess the hospitals to incinerate it, so they heat it to do away with it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Christian, over to you, so you can continue.
Thank you. So I have this question. How did you help set up the solar power on mosques?
Oh, so the solar, yeah, the grid project for the mosque. We went to a settlement of Fulani in nearby, and they didn't have electricity, they didn't have water, so we tried to help them, you know, with water for them to be using for their day-to-day lives. They used to have a stream that they use. It was just under a bridge that water was passing, a sewage water that they were using before. So most of the children used to have malaria and diarrhea and typhoid. So it was, you know, they really needed the water for drinking and domestic use. So we provided water for them. So, and after then also we provided that we gave them some solar lights for them to use in the night, and also we decided to give them powered so we gave them that solar light for them to use in their mosque, and it had a radio and speaker attached to it. So we called it the Green Mosque Initiative, because we've seen so many green mosques around the world. One is in Cambridge that the Turkish government recently built in Turkey. The Turkish government recently built a green mosque in Cambridge. It's a very interesting mosque. Maybe you should check it out.
Thank you. Thank you. Christian, do you have any more questions?
Yes. Miss Minister, can you add this solar power to churches as well?
Yeah, we can add it too. But it's just that was the community we were dealing with when we went for an outreach. Well, we did a sustainable development goal course for children and told them about the sustainable development goals, and also we taught them about, you know, future jobs like the artificial intelligence and the rest. So then we told them that we were going for an outreach in a less privileged community to take those solar lights for them. So someone told us that that village needed it because when they went for a pad outreach, they found out that they couldn't afford pad. They were using ash. I know you know ash, so that was what they were using. So they were very vulnerable. That was why we went to the community. So after then, we went back so many times to address some issues.
Okay. Thank you for that. And I have another question. What do you find the most challenging in your field of work?
The most challenging thing is sourcing the plastic. Because even though we have so many plastic, but because people don't sort out plastic. So Muhammad, Zozo, Zokaji. Because people don't sort out plastic from source, you know, from their homes, from their shops, they don't sort out plastic. You should to kaga dan yaro shi ma wannan fa kaman sa annawa ne to ya shiru kaji bari in gama sai ka kalla. So people don't sort out plastic, they just trash everything together. So we don't, because now we don't have the machineries we need to, you know, dry and sort them out, because it's supposed to be like a single line machine that you just put the waste, it will sort out, okay, this type of plastic that we need, and, you know, wash them, take them into the melting pot, melt it, mix it with sand, you know, take it into the mold, and someone should just take it for drying. So but we have to do everything almost manually now. So it's not all the waste that we find on the street we can use. Even if we find all those waste, we have to sort them, which is a very big problem. So, but we are talking with the, you know, Abuja Environmental Protection Board, the Ministry of Environment, to see how we could make these things easier and get a machine for all we need.
Okay, thank you for that answer. And
Okay.
I have another question.
Okay.
Now that we have lockdown, how are people cycling now? Because they're leaving masks and everything.
Yes, you know, the lockdown in Nigeria is not as in the UK. In Nigeria, everyone is just continuing their day-to-day lives. And I know maybe we're not going to have the mask you use there is not going to be the same mask we are using here, even though the population here is high. But here, people mostly use this reusable mask. So mostly you just buy 2 masks, and for this maybe 4 months, that is what people mostly have been using, because people can't afford to be buying this mask every now and then. So people take care of their mask. When it's dirty, they wash it and keep using their thing. And, you know, school hasn't started, so children don't go to school. Mostly they're at home. So, but other people just go about their day-to-day lives. So, most companies have reopened and are doing their normal jobs as usual.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
But for the mask, I know definitely people in the recycling sector will try and find a solution for it, because it's definitely going to be a very big problem.
Well, are you sure that reusable masks are really safe? Safe yet?
Yes, people that use it, I think, I haven't used it before, but I know people that are using it feel it's safe for use.
Okay.
Because there's, you know, there's a thin line between poverty and what, you know, is recommended. If you can't afford it, there's no how you are going to get it.
Well, Christian, we have a lot of people using reusable masks here as well. I've actually got a couple, in addition to having the disposable ones. Once we run out of the disposable ones in this home, we're not planning to go buying another, you know, we're not buying any more disposable masks. No way. The ones we got, yeah, the ones we got were sent to us when all of this started from our friends in China. But we ended up buying the reusable ones, and we wash them after use. Each piece, you know, after every outing, we come home, we wash our masks. And I hope mom's getting you reusable ones as well, because if we're talking about protecting our environment, it starts from doing little things like this. Otherwise,
Yeah, and
we're
I
going to
also
have
think because most of the reusable ones, they are cotton, they are made out of cotton. So I think they are better, unlike maybe the single use, because at times those single use, they are made in such a way that it's difficult for you to breathe and the rest, and it has plastic material in them. So I don't know. But
Yes, I
yes.
have
yeah,
reusable ones of my own that I'll just wash and put it back, let it dry to use back.
Exactly, because sometimes you know, having the disposable ones is more or less like, it more or less comes out of being lazy. Apart from that,
yes,
okay, yes, when we were, I mean, when it all started, nobody knew what was, we had to be listening to what the media was saying or
directive.
whatever doctors were saying, whatever. So you probably had a lot of people believing that there was a particular kind of mask they needed to use. But these days, when I go out in the streets and go to the shops, you see people with checkered ones, with, you know, everybody, now you have designer masks and all sorts of
Ah,
made out of
so
us.
here, because we sew mostly, like people sew their clothes. Here you don't just go to the shop and buy your clothes. Mostly people sew their own clothes. So now when you take your clothes for sewing, the tailor will even sew a mask to match with your clothes for you.
And that is so good, because you know what, right? I saw an advert the other day, a swimsuit, a bikini, and there's a
Yeah.
mask to go with it as well. I'm like, why would you need to go swimming with a mask? So yeah, I mean, that was meant to be something comical, obviously, but it is quite interesting. So Christian, if you haven't got a reusable one, please ask mom to get you one. It's going to save it. That will be your help towards saving the
Yeah, and Christian, is even easy to wash. Even you can wash it by yourself with your hand.
of course. That's why you've got hands, Christian. So I
Yeah.
hope you're washing them. You're not going to be giving them to mom to wash. So yeah. Christian, do you have any other questions?
Yes, I have another question. How do you see architecture changing in the next 5 years to improve sustainability for recycling?
How do I what?
How do you see architecture changing in the next 5 years to improve sustainability for recycling?
For recycling?
Sustainability.
When I was in school, during my last research for undergraduate, I did on sustainable architecture. That was my topic, was on sustainable architecture. That was even before the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So architecture has for a long time been applying sustainability as part of architecture. It was another entire
Mom, what's the point if I'm not talking?
You would talk when we finish. When it's another whole section in architecture, sustainability in architecture. So, but recycling, people try to make it as much as possible sustainably compliant. So like our product that we started making, there is, during the heating, because we do it mostly manually, is mostly, you know, the sustainability is not really, we're not really sustainable compliant. But what I tell people always is that fertilizers are not good as for the farmers to use, as in our food is not a good material. Organic foods are better to use, sustainable manure for our farming, but farmers use this fertilizers, which is harmful to our health, but still you will not say that you won't eat food. We still eat food because maybe we feel that by eating, you will not get hungry and hunger will not kill you. So your thinking is a better option. So we try as much as possible to minimize the production process to be as sustainable as possible.
Okay. Okay,
Hello, thank you. If we're lucky, Rosie might just be able to share the pictures that Ms. Ntisa has sent. So she's going to try to put them onto a PowerPoint presentation to share the pictures of what Mrs. Ntisa was talking about with regards like the ram that had taken in so much nylon and things like that. And the slate she makes to use in making roads. So Rosie's going to try to see if she can get that done in the next few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the one we did was for a farm. So you won't leave those the used plastic. You won't leave it in the ocean or in the street to just harm the environment because you don't want to emit some fumes. So for now, that is why we just use what we have and know that we have dealt with part of the plastic pollution we are having, because it has a more negative impact than making this material, than upcycling, than going into the recycling business that we do.
Okay, thank you for that. And these are my last two questions. Okay. What advice would you give us about recycling?
Recycling?
Would you give to us so people don't leave plastic bottles and plastic masks everywhere?
So I think change begins with you. If you have to be the first person to change before you tell other people to do it. So that's why in my house, I know how we segregate our waste, and I tell the children, this is where you put the plastic, this is where you put the PET bottles, then the organic waste. So, and everywhere they go, they know this is how it is supposed to be done, and they know about recycling and the rest. So, and everywhere I go, I tell people about recycling and how they can do it, how they can be part of it, and the rest. So now, so many people that know me now used to keep nylon bags for me. They used to keep the PET bottles for us. So it's what change begins with you. You can do something about it, and also advocacy is very key. You have to tell other people to be responsible and do it. That's why we have a dustbin in our car. I know maybe in other countries you use public transport, but you know, in the house when you have a car too, you should have your own dustbin where you trash your garbage on the road. Maybe when you take drinks or when you take biscuits or wafers, you should have a place to put them so that when you get home, you dispose it properly. And when you see someone that does something wrongly, you correct that person in a nice way and see how you can be part of it. And recycling business is is a very good business because so many people, there are so many potentials in it that are yet to be untapped and explored. So it's a very huge market that you can get something that you can do in it.
Okay.
So much.
The world belongs to all of us. Like even if you're in the UK or you're in the US, we all have one sky that belongs to all of us. So we have to partake in safeguarding the environment wherever we are, because it all belongs to us. It doesn't belong to one person, or you won't say that because this one is an African, I will not dispose it properly because it will only go to Africa, the waste, and spoil Africa. No, waste that is in Africa can go to America, can go to Germany, it can travel around. So, and that is why now we are seeing the effect of it depleting the ozone layer, and the rest is not only to Africa or to Asia, but to all of us.
Okay. Thank you for that answer. And this is my last question. What would you like to be your message to the DIL platform?
I think you should always think of providing a solution to a problem. Then you will have, your life will be guided. You shouldn't be selfish. Always you should try and see what is the problem around you and try to solve it. That way, even entrepreneurs, big entrepreneurs in the world, the richest people in the world are entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are people that find problems around and try to solve those problems. Then from there, they make huge amounts of money. So don't just be thinking, oh, I want to make this kind of money, I want to be this, I want to be that. You have to think of problems and solutions, how to help people, how to solve problems that are already existing. Then from there, you will find peace, and you'll be very happy and live happily. And even after you, people will still remember you and will pray for you. So, and that's why in this part of the world, we don't apply all this STEM in our education. You just be taught by book only. There's no practicals and the rest. So that's why when people finish, if they don't get government job, they can't do anything. So, but I'm happy now the world is changing. People are learning skills that will help them. So even if you don't have white collar job, if you're not working in any company seated in an office, you can still find something that you can do, a solution that you can solve, and you will have something to do, get your money and live comfortably while you are helping people and people are happy with you.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Inistar. Thank you for those answers.
You're welcome, Chris.
Does anyone else have any questions to ask Ms. Inistar?
Thank you. Yes, I have one last question before it's over. And my question is, was it hard? What material was used? Is a solar panel difficult to make, and how long would it take?
To make what?
The solar panels.
Solar panels?
Yeah.
Oh, the solar panels, we just bought it and installed it for them. We didn't make those solar panels. Are you talking about the solar panels for the mosque?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't make them ourselves. We just bought them from a company that sells solar lights. Then we installed it for them. And it's something that you can do it yourself. It's not something that needs to be installed.
Okay.
So, and is there any other questions from anyone else?
We've run out of time anyway, Melissa. So what's probably going to happen is that those ambassadors that are on LinkedIn can actually pass their questions to Miss Inistar on LinkedIn. I was hoping Rosie would be ready with the slides. I'm not sure if she is. Oh yeah, she says it's done. She sent me a message on the side that it's done.
I don't know.
So maybe we can watch the slides. But in the meantime, I would like to commend you, Intisar, for wow. I love the fact that, like, you know, whenever you're talking about what you're putting across with regards to your innovations, you always make it clear that you're a mother and a wife.
Yeah.
So this is what you advertise is what we're seeing. You're not hiding the children or hiding the family
No.
to try to. You're working hand in hand, and this is what we call work-life balance.
Yes,
So
and
love it.
when they were in school before the lockdown is when they go to school that I go and do my own activities, and when it's time for them to come back, we come back home together. So it's just to have their time. And they asked me, "Mommy, why are you not working? What do you want to be in the future?" I was very surprised. I said, I was just thinking, I'm already in the future, but I'm doing so many things that, you know, they don't see it as a job. So it was after then that when I started this one, so I told them that I was at home because of them, just to take care of them. But so afterwards, when I started this, I told them that this is what I am doing and we want to help the environment and the rest. So whenever they see nylon or they use one, they will say, "Mommy, we have kept your raw material for you."
And you're doing a commendable job, because, you know, I've been smiling up back here like, wow, you know, and your voice is still calm. You're still getting the message across. And at the same time, you're being a mother. I'm like, wow, how you do? It's like your arms are like all over the place, trying to like stop one child from doing this, whatever, pulling another one in, and yet answering the questions at the same time.
Yes, and you know, I got married at the end of 100 level. So every year in my academic year, I spent 5 years in architecture. Every year, if I don't have a baby, I was pregnant. So it was, everyone asked me, "How did you do architecture and this family and children and what?" I just said, well, it has already passed, and alhamdulillah, where we are, I had support of my parents because we were living close by and the rest, so they were always supportive. My sister and I came from a family of 2, you know, but everyone was very supportive, alhamdulillah.
Thank you. It's fantastic. And you know what? Yeah. I've taken a couple of pictures that I'll show you later to see if I can actually use, because Miss Ratiba, what do you think? This is what did you think?
Congratulations, Sithara. What you're doing is great. I mean, you are participating in fighting the pollution, the plastics pollution, and fighting also poverty. And through this, you are promoting jobs and industry, and this is great. My question, maybe if I can ask question, can you give us an idea about how many jobs you have been able to create through this process of recycling and industry?
Yeah, now we just concluded a project. That was the one I sent the picture for a woman we did. She's having an organic farm. So for that particular job, we employed people because our employment is always direct and indirect. So for that particular one, we had we wrote down how the pilot project was the production and installation of 25 square meters of Ifrik Eco Pavers on Nisha Livestock Farm, an eco-friendly farm located in Abuja. The interlocking tiles were made from plastic waste. Over 1,250 pieces of eco-interlocking tiles were produced and installed, for equivalent of over 600,000 pure water sachets. So over like 600 kg of waste was used for that particular project, and there was 5 direct employment that we did and over 20 indirect ones for just that particular project. And I can also send you this write-up that we wrote for that particular project that we did.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and there was, you know, we focused on widows to get to source our materials then, and some orphans too for the project, so that they will have a livelihood.
Have you ever tried to promote some programs of recycling in schools, I mean, for kids?
Yes, even in my program with the BBC, we went to a secondary school. We went there to inaugurate an SDG club for them, the Sustainable Development Club for them, and also we told them about future jobs. Later on, we showed them how to make briquettes. They were children of SS1 and SS2. I don't know what you call them, what grade.
Yeah.
They were in 4th year and 5th year in the secondary school.
Fantastic, that is good. SS, I'm not sure. SS, what's SS class did you say? SS3?
You're saying 4th year in high school.
Okay, okay. Rosie is ready to share the screen.
Okay, she can be sharing as we talk. Is it okay?
Okay, Rosie, please share.
Yeah. So we also told them to bring us plastic waste. So they brought it for us, and that was, you know, a criteria for us to choose those who were going to be in the club. Amazingly, 19 students brought the plastic. 17 of them were females. Only 2 were boys.
Wow.
So this is the farm. This was the
women care for.
Yeah. So it's a walkway that we did for them in this farm, and it's 25 square meters.
That is great.
Yeah. So we engage secondary school, we engage schools, school children. So this is the pure water bags that we're talking about. It's just a plastic bag, and they put water in it, and they sell it for like, maybe the bag goes for maybe $1, something like that. Because people don't, it's not everywhere that have running tap waters, and it's not everywhere that they have bottled water. So people prefer to buy this one. It's cheaper and handy. So, but when people use it, and it's also a nuisance in the society because of the plastic pollution.
Great.
So this is, can you go back? Yeah, this is the melted plastic inside the molds. Can you see it? Kristen, is just like
they look beautiful tiles.
Yeah, thank you. And you can add colors: red, black, green.
It's amazing, yeah.
It looks kind of weird.
Stronger than the other concrete ones.
So all these tiles are plastic ones? They're all plastic ones, these tiles?
Stick and sand with some addition.
Yeah, Rosie, but because Cynthia was saying they tend to melt the plastic and then mix it with sand to actually make it solid. Yeah.
Okay, I see now. Yeah.
So, and what we do to the school kids is just to, you know, when we get the
So is that the plastic that came from that animal? Oh dear.
Oh, wow. That is bad.
Oh dear. This is, oh no, because when you actually zoom in, you can see how much it is. It's so much. Oh.
Yeah. So just to let them know, just to let them know of how dangerous these materials are in the environment when they leave them, and to make them responsible, because the problem is our education system is very bad. We have to teach our kids a lot of things to know from a tender age, how to care for the environment and the rest. And our education is really, really very
That's
bad.
the
We
basic.
have to teach, yeah, we have to teach them so many things at a very young age to have skills and know what the future is about. Sorry, I want to plug the, yeah.
Rosie, do you have
So
any more slides? Are these the last ones?
I believe, oh, sorry. I think this is it.
Okay,
Thank you
so you've
so
seen the
much.
animal and the plastic in it. So this was
Yeah.
just one animal, and whenever, I have so many pictures, but this is just a few ones. Whenever you see a dump site in Nigeria, whenever I see a dump site, you will surely see animals on them feeding. You will surely see animals on them. And at times you even see maize growing out of the dump site. So you can imagine that is what we eat always, because you see cows, sheep, and the rest on them. So, and this is what we, at the end of the day, eat.
So sad. That's our reality, you know, globally.
Yeah.
Because we've got in the fish, we've got in everything. We've got plastic in everything.
Yeah.
More or less. Anyway, this has been a truly engaging and inspiring, question and answer time. I know the ambassadors have learned so much. I've definitely learned quite a bit from what you said. So thank you so much for coming on the DIL platform. And I'd like Christian and Melissa to thank Mrs. Ntisa as well.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Melissa.
The other ambassadors.
Thank you, Miss Ntisa.
Thank you, Miss Ntisa.
So much for your patience and everything. And to everybody that has been in the audience, for your patience, for your support, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much, everyone. I wish you all the best, Kristen, Melissa, and the rest of the participants.
Thank you. And give
Thank
our
you
love
for
to the
having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss.
I'll share more success stories with you.
Definitely, even on the LinkedIn platform. Thank you.